I feel like you're going to have to do the welcome back.
Oh, yeah. Welcome back.
Unless they want to hear me just like die.
Yeah, Caitlin
Be for real. Right?
hasn't had a voice
Since Thanksgiving?
Since Thanksgiving.
Yeah, I haven't. It's been a long time. You can tell, and I'm like super sorry you get to listen to my voice like this. But best of luck.
Best of luck. Enjoy. I've been listening to it like this for a week. So
Several days. She loves every second, let me tell you.
Merry belated Christmas.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Merry belated Christmas to everyone.
Happy Hanukkah, happy Kwanzaa.
Happy Hanukkah.
Happy almost New Year.
Happy all the things. Caitlin and I got here on Christmas Eve in Arizona. If you couldn't tell, we are together.
In person.
In person.
There is no line. There's no awkward high fives.
Yes.
We are here.
We are here together. I got here on Christmas Eve. And then Caitlin and I went to the Phoenix Suns and Denver Nuggets game.
On Christmas Day.
And the game itself was not fun, but the experience was.
The experience was great. I had so much fun. I mean, like, not watching the Nuggets because they were stressing me out. But, like, I just think, like, we had so much fun. Like, I don't like being the op. I don't like when, like, I'm.
The op.
I think that's what the people call them. You know, like the guys, the friends, the kids.
The cool kids?
The cool kids. Like the op.
We were the ops, yeah.
Yeah, and I don't normally love it, but I was like, you know what?
I love it.
I don't. I'm like, the second like someone stares at me sideways, I will cry. Like, I'm terrified that they're going to beat me up.
Yeah.
And we did have like a little 13-year-old girl.
She was
that was not happy.
She was not happy with us. Literally anytime we would clap or scream or cheer for the Nuggets, she would just go.
She would like literally whip. She was like 2 rows in front of us.
Her head around.
And she'd be like, oh. Fix those real quick.
It was so.
She would just like glare at us
so
right
funny.
behind. I'm like, girlfriend.
Yeah.
It is not that serious.
We were sitting like right next to her across the aisle from one of Jokic's brothers. And they had like a Serbian flag with them. It was so fun. We were lucky enough that we got to go into the club access.
Club Gila River.
Yeah.
At Footprint Center. And it was, let me tell you, I am not made for club access things.
She's not.
I had the time of my life, let me tell you. I got like 4 plates of food. I was skipping around. I was drinking my little Coke. They didn't have Dr. Pepper. So that was, you know, if I had to give them any tips, I would maybe get Dr. Pepper on tap for people like me.
I was honestly shocked at how much small. Okay, so for those of you who like don't follow us on social media, this is only my second arena that I've been in. The Nuggets like were my very first when I moved there, and I have not been to another NBA arena. Just it hasn't happened. So this was my second one, and it was so much smaller.
Yeah, if to put it into perspective, Ball Arena can hold 21,000. For the games, and Footprint Center can only hold 18,000. So there's like a whole like kind of top section of seats missing, and so like the ceiling is lower, and like everything feels a lot closer.
It feels although everyone says that Phoenix is like really obnoxiously loud, and it didn't feel that loud.
It really didn't.
I mean, I was being loud. But it didn't feel that loud. And then I always hear the obnoxious like club music that like on the, I feel like when I'm watching games on the TV, but I didn't hear it.
My guess is because it was an ESPN Christmas Day game. So I'm sure that ESPN maybe had like
was like, we're not
doing that.
Round of applause. Baby, make that ass.
No, literally. Okay. So I went to the game. The game with Jason against the Timberwolves where the Suns got swept, right? Mm-hmm. And both of us were sitting there like, it makes sense. It was so loud. And it was like the clubby music. Like, I swear to God, you could feel the bass in there.
Oh, that's weird.
Yes, that was probably like the quietest it's been. And let me tell you, the fact that it was so quiet is hilarious because Spencer and I were not quiet.
Yeah.
We were so obnoxious.
And we had like a row of Nuggets fans in front of us.
And some next to us and around us.
And we were the only
they would
ones
like
yelling.
clap a little bit.
They would golf clap.
Yeah, but like, and again, I'm not one that like normally likes to be the op, but I was like, you know what? Like I'm hype. Go Nuggies.
You were standing up and screaming.
Yes, exactly. I was like, I'm gonna
to bring any attention to myself.
Oh, well, first of all, yes, I do. But not as like the opposer, like like when I go to other games, like when I've gone to Suns games as a Warriors fan or Suns games as a Nuggets fan, or even like I think like 6 years ago, I went to a Nuggets game as like both. I had a Nuggets jacket and I was wearing a Steph Curry jersey. But like either way, I don't like normally going out there, but I was like, you know what? Like I'm here for the Nuggets and I'm going to be competitive today. And I literally
I will not be silenced.
No, I literally, there were times where like we would score and it's like every single person around us is sitting down and I'm like standing up, clapping in people's face, not clapping in people's faces, like to be rude, but I was standing up, clapping super loud, like screaming for our team and just like going crazy. People were saying that you could hear like us yelling through the broadcast.
Yeah, I can't tell if they were just being funny or not. Cause like I was really loud. So like I would.
Well, the way that I was thinking about it was like, it would make sense because do you remember when, was it DeMar DeRozan's daughter was screaming at during free throws during playoffs a couple of years ago, and like everyone was like, "Get that girl out of here."
Oh well, yeah, but she was like almost on court.
Yeah, but we were only 5 rows up.
Yeah,
we were right behind the scores table too. So I don't know, but like either way, we were loud, and if you could hear us,
loud
that's awesome.
And proud until we lost embarrassingly. So
yeah. But you know what?
Anyway,
we just beat them 27 points before.
Speaking of the Suns, I feel like we have to talk about this first.
Listen, this is besides.
I will definitely be playing. We don't need to react to it because Caitlin and I have watched it literally 5 times.
Yeah, literally.
But in case you haven't seen it yet, in case you're not on the social medias, on the web, on the World Wide Web.
On the interweb.
On the interweb. We're going to put it right here. Yusuf Nurkic, and I did not. They said he punched Naji Marshall.
No, it was an open hand
Marshall
slap.
Punched him.
Yeah.
Yusuf Nurkic bitch slapped.
Open hand slapped him.
Naji Marshall.
Yeah.
I was Kyrie, and I will also put Kyrie's face in here.
Kyrie was the best.
He was just in the background going.
Literally the whole time he was.
His mouth. He was a gasp.
I said that Kyrie was going to go home and find his Nurkic voodoo doll and just like start going crazy on it.
Yeah. So Yusuf Nurkic was ejected last night. Naji Marshall was ejected, and then PJ Washington also. And
got
everyone's
ejected
like,
after.
"What did PJ do?" PJ like shoved Nurkic to the ground. He was
as
like,
he should.
GTFO, my boy. Okay. So yeah, that
it was so good.
I don't even know why Nurkic was so angry. It looked like there was some jawing,
yeah, but Nurkic is such a sensitive little shit. Like
there was a lot of yapping, and then he bitch slapped him.
And like, you know what? Like I saw the bitch slap, and I was like, I hope Naji Marshall like broke his nose. And then I see Naji Marshall just punch him across the face, and I was like, thank you.
And then Naji Marshall, if you have a Twitter, changed his header to the photo of him
punching
like this.
Literally just on Nurkic's face.
On Nurkic's face.
I was saying, I tweeted about it, but I was saying that the Naji Marshall punched Yusuf Nurkic, and then Draymond choking out Gobert is my Roman Empire. Those are my 2 like least favorite players. And so just like watching them both get beat up is just kind of fun.
It was so funny. And then the Suns still lost.
Good, as they should. I don't even think they scored 90 points. Or was
Mavs,
it they didn't score?
Mind you, I was like, I have to look up because so the Mavs then did not have Luka, did not have Naji Marshall or PJ Washington.
Yeah, the final score was 98-89.
Wow.
Suns didn't even score 90.
Wow. It's a minder for both teams.
And like KD had 35, but he didn't do much except for score and get a couple rebounds. So that doesn't really help.
It was even funnier to me because like Kyrie Irving only had 20 points. She was shooting 28% from the field.
Yeah.
And the Mavs still pulled out the win.
Because if you don't know, Luka's also injured and everything like that. He re-injured his calf, which like
that's what I was saying. I was like, Luka wasn't even on the team, and
exactly.
They still pulled out the win.
Yeah, I don't know when he's going to come back. I think he came back too early when he first injured his calf earlier this season. And that sucks for him because
He was
obviously
losing his MVP
that's what I'm saying is
name
people
in the running.
Yeah, I mean, you lose when you miss a certain amount of games, you no longer qualify for all for all NBA like awards for MVP, DPOY, etc. And I think that that's like killing him. So I think he came back early from his injury the first time, and now he's back injured. It sucks for them.
Yeah, well, I think what sucks for Phoenix is they were doing so well at like the beginning of the year with KD.
Yeah.
And because KD was having monster games and now and then he was out and now KD is back and Devin Booker is out. How many times do I have to say it?
Your big three
is big injured.
I was going to say he's always big injured.
And even like Royce O'Neal has been playing fairly well.
I was going to say, I like
if
Royce
you would have
O'Neal.
told me he shot 16 threes against the Nuggets on Christmas Day, I would totally believe you because that's what it felt like. But KD had 35 points, 3 rebounds, 0 assists. Bradley Beal has not been playing well. He was 5 for 18, 27%.
Well, which is funny because Bradley Beal had the biggest game of his freaking career against us. Not really, but he played amazing.
It always freaking happens.
Yeah.
Both teams did not do well. Both teams were shooting like Mavs shot 43% from the field. Suns shot 38.
Ew. From the field.
Yes, from the field. And
don't worry, they shot 65% from three for against us, or 60%, whatever it was.
I wonder why. What do you mean? The Nuggets are so good at perimeter defense.
What do you mean?
But yeah, actually, I need to look up the standings because I need to know where the Suns are.
They're
Are
right.
they even in the play-in or are they below it?
Oh no, they're above us. They're above the. Above the Warriors. They're like 9th or 10th.
They're barely in the play-in right now, currently. Yikes! So
Spurs and Clippers are above us.
I don't know why everyone thought the Phoenix Suns were going to be contenders. Caitlin and I have said this since the beginning of time.
They could be contenders if their big three was big healthy all season. And unfortunately,
and
it's
maybe
just
if
not.
they had a competent center, perhaps, perchance, that might help their things.
Yeah, Mason Plumlee is like a dad. He's like a dad playing horse with you, like just... sometimes he'll like just dunk on your head on it. And
he looks so old to me. He literally looks like he's in his 50s.
See, I think that he like looks like simultaneously 25 and 50.
No, I don't think he
like
looks
he's
near
like a
25
Peyton
at all.
Pritchard to me. It's the shaved head.
I was cracking up because when they played us the 2 days before Christmas, and I was at home watching with my dad, they were talking about how Plumlee changed his free throw shot to his left hand. My dad was like, I wonder what makes you do that. I was like, missing them with your right hand?
Missing them with your good hand.
When you were with the Nuggets and you didn't make a single free throw, I don't think your entire tenure?
Yep. Jeremy Sohan. He,
Sohan.
I'm going to get it wrong every time.
Sohan. They've been saying it enough that I've got it now. Okay. It took me like 3 months. But yeah, Mavs still finding ways to win without Luka, which again goes to my narrative that you are not the MVP because you have too much help. So sorry, bestie.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like it's so hard. Like even when Luka plays amazing, like you're next to Kyrie, and Kyrie's been playing amazing all season.
Yeah, I'm so sorry because I didn't know when Mavs fans became one of the more delusional fan bases.
Yeah.
Because first of all, why are you arguing that Luka's best friend is the MVP? And like posting Jokic's stats that's like, oh, look at this only lame triple-double he got.
This triple-double that was only 21 points, 15 rebounds, 10 assists. What a loser.
And then they're talking about like they're trying to say that he's stat pat. They're saying that he's in garbage time. I'm like, yeah, because he subs himself out. Yeah.
He chooses that.
And I'm like, Malone is like known.
Well, and we don't even like
for
that.
Keeping his players in too long.
Yeah, and I think like a thing about that too is that like Jokic could not care less about triple doubles.
Jokic doesn't want to be the leader of anything.
No, they literally will like tell him at like post game pressers. They'll be like, "You had such a great triple double," and he's like, "I did."
He looks at it. He's like,
"Okay."
They're like, "You're the first person to ever do this," and he's like, "This."
Okay.
He thinks it's like pitiful.
Yeah, literally. He just like doesn't care. And the thing about the Nuggets too is that like normally when teams go in at garbage time or like when players go in at garbage time, they put in like their deep bench. I don't think I've seen Malone put in his deep bench except for like in random close games this season. Like
it's literally because they've been playing so awful. I fully believe he's punishing them, which I'm totally fine with. Like honestly, I respect it when you're playing terrible and you're down 15 and no one's been trying. Like fuck it, run into the ground.
Yep.
Excuse my French. But yeah, and then they're like, and then there's Luka. He doesn't have anyone. I'm like, Kyrie.
Yeah.
Kyrie.
Klay Thompson still. And I'm like,
even if it was just Kyrie
Irving, best finisher in the league for the last 20 years. Not 20, but still. 15.
But what?
Yeah.
No, Jokic has nobody. Jokic has nobody.
What do you mean? He's got so many elite all-stars around him.
Jokic has Dario Saric and Zeke Naji.
Stop.
So I love you, Mavs fans. We're friends with a lot of you, but like the ones that are
Crazy.
being nasty on the timeline.
Well,
look silly.
This has always been,
and it's but like sorry.
No, you're okay.
But I just meant like, and I think I said this. Like it's almost like they're mad that he has more help.
Yeah.
I'm like, if Jokic had 2 All-Stars or anyone right now,
I couldn't give 2 shits about the MVP. I'd be like, thank God, just win games.
Please just get another championship for my guy.
Yeah, literally.
But then he'd probably have like 30 assists and then they'd be mad.
Yeah, that is also true.
But yeah.
But like my thought, and this is just like the people that are, I don't know, being super a-holy about Jokic and everything like that, just in regards to MVP and just wanting Luka to have the MVP, is that my saying has always been, if you have to put someone else down to lift your player up, your argument is already invalid. If you cannot prove to me why Luka should be the MVP without shitting on Jokic, then I just don't care. Like, cause I'll listen to you. Like, I think Shea's amazing. I've actually, like, Shea hasn't even been shooting like half as many free throws this year, and
I wanted to bring that up today whenever we talk about the Thunder.
Yeah, like there are so many really good players. You've got guys like Donovan Mitchell who are, going crazy on the best teams. Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum are going crazy on the Celtics. You have so many guys that are playing so amazing. And that, to me, that still doesn't take away from how amazing Jokic has been.
Yeah.
And I will never sit there and shit on Luka, because Luka, besides, like, he had a slow stint. And I think that's why everyone was so pissed off that he was originally 7 on the MVP ladder. But I'm like, he did start slow. Like, in comparison to his last couple of years, his stats were all lower than they have been. And that's okay. Like, he was still playing great, but they are lower. And so he's not going to be number 2 on the MVP ladder when Kyrie has been carrying the team for those first 12 games or whatever it was. Yeah. And then he got injured. And when he came back from his injury, he started playing like normal Luka. His numbers were insane.
Back to his normal self.
Yes, like 30.
But I think he came back because he knew, like, he wanted to push himself.
Exactly. And now he's injured again.
Which is understandable if you don't have an MVP. Like, I understand it. Like, those, like, some people do care about awards. Like, and I'm sure, like, if I was in the NBA, I would not be a Jokic person. I'd be like, no, I want every award I could possibly get.
Exactly. Exactly. And that's just like, so like I said, my thought is that, like, if you can't give me good reasons for your guy to be an MVP, like if you can't give me a good argument without shitting on all the other people, then I'm just like, I'm not going to listen to you, because I guess that Luka would be the MVP this year. Yeah. I
even like, and I'm not even gonna lie, like, I'm actually shocked. NBA posted on Twitter their updated MVP ladder last night, and Jokic actually hadn't moved. Yeah, and I was actually shocked, because he's getting triple doubles, but it feels awful. Like, he does.
The rest of his team is awful.
And we'll talk about it, but like, it doesn't feel, the triple doubles don't even feel like, he had 32 the other night, and I could have sworn he had 13.
12. Like,
I'm full, like, Giannis has been playing incredible. Insane. Like, I literally don't even like Giannis, but I can at least, again, I will always acknowledge if someone's playing great. Like, I don't understand why that's so hard for other fan bases, it seems.
Literally.
Because I love Jokic, but like, I'm not delusional.
And like, I think my thing is that, like, I am so comfortable and confident in how good Jokic is that, like, I don't feel the need to put other people down to lift him up.
But yeah,
like, I can acknowledge the greatness of other players.
If they had put Giannis as number one for the past week, I literally wouldn't have said anything.
I would have been like, yep, that makes sense with his 40 point average at game.
I was like, that tracks. Jokic has looked very disinterested. But moving on, I would definitely want us to talk like one of the other top things. So the Kings fired Mike Brown yesterday after losing 5 at home. And not only did they fire him, the man ran a full practice, spoke to the media, was driving in his car to the airport to get on the plane, and they called him and fired him.
Yep. And and we'll talk about it because we've talked about this a lot. First of all, Mike Brown 2 years ago was the coach of the year. He is such a fantastic, defensive minded coach. But the team has been struggling this year, which we've talked about. Is it DeMar DeRozan? Is it the fact that your guys that have been shooting amazing from 3 over the last couple of years are now literally shooting like shit and taking half as many shots?
Yeah, losing 5, having a 5-game homestand and losing every single one of those games is bad. That is a call. But to fire the coach.
Again, someone that was your coach of the year, someone that literally snapped a 16-year playoff drought for them. He's been a good coach, and it makes sense to me, I guess. I'll say this: so they were 13-13 going into this homestand, and then they had 5 games at home, and they lost all 5 of them. And unfortunately, the 5th game at home, it was against the Pistons, and the Pistons are not last year's Pistons. The Pistons are not the worst team in the league. The Pistons are actually hanging around the middle of the East. They're doing good.
Yeah, they're developing.
They're competitive, and they look good this year. And in the last couple seconds of the game, well, first of all, the Pistons were down, 10? 10, something like that. She kind of tuned it out because she was
they were down by 15.
Yeah, I just mean the last time you had looked at the TV, they were down
so
9 or 10.
Caitlin had come down from putting her daughter to bed, and I'm like, you're missing a really close game here. There was
and it was
3 minutes
15.
left in the third, and it was 15. I'm reading a book because I'm it's the Pistons and the Kings. Okay, it's the battle of basketball, and then I look up and it was within 3, and I was like. And she was like, yeah, well, I've been saying that. I was like, huh?
Yeah, we've been talking about it.
I was oh, I'm in my la la
She's in her little book world. But it was, I think it was 34 seconds left.
Yeah.
And they were down by 3. The Pistons were. And so you see all this happen. Both teams scored a couple times. Then it was within 3 again in the last possession. Jaden Ivey gets the ball on the corner, and De'Aaron Fox originally starts sagging because you're only down 3, and okay, if he makes it, then you have 1 second left and you can try to make something and finish the game, or you'll go into overtime. But De'Aaron Fox starts sagging and then sees Jaden Ivey go up for this 3 and jumps literally on top of him and smacks his shoulders. It looked like he fouled him on
all
purpose.
On his arm.
I'm like, bro, that was such a horrible decision. And Jaden Ivey drains his 3, makes his free throw, and there's 1.6 seconds. Yeah, 1.6 seconds left on the clock, and the Kings had nothing, and the game was over. So that was the end of that. But
that was so demoralizing for them.
Yes, truly, because like I said, that was the 5th game on a 5-game home losing streak. Someone said the beam is currently at half mast, and I was like, felt that's
Ouch.
True.
Ouch.
It was so bad. And a lot of people have been saying Mike Brown, if you watch any of his post-game pressers, he's been consistently kind of throwing his team under the bus, being they're not listening to me, they're not following game plan, they're not doing what I'm asking them to do. And maybe he's taking a little bit less accountability. He's normally good at taking accountability for, if you watch literally the first few games of the season, he was this is on me. I need to be better.
Yeah. I
need to figure out what works for this team and blah, blah, blah. He's normally good at that, but he's been throwing the team under the bus. He's been throwing De'Aaron Fox under the bus. And I think he and De'Aaron Fox have been at odds for maybe a little while. And after
now the Kings are I liked what Mike Malone had to say about it. How he was saying that if you win, it goes to Fox and Sabonis, and if you lose, it's on the coach, which I fully agree. But now they're they're like shopping fox. I've said this since the beginning of time. It feels like the Kings to me always have the makings to be a good team. Then they get there,
They're so
they just
close
always end up
every
mid.
time.
And then they always, and now they're bad. Like it's gone from mid to bad. And we talked about this last time. Like I wasn't sure, just because it felt like the DeMar DeRozan was like a lateral move. Like it just didn't impact.
It didn't positively
what they
impact
needed.
The way that, yeah,
for
you're
me.
right. I agree.
So that was kind of my thing about it. And even like, doesn't matter if they're playing well. Like it just, I don't know what.
They can't win games.
Yeah, they can't win games. And
they're having a really hard time closing. Like it's funny because like I feel like they've won like the closer games a lot of the time, but like they keep blowing these leads.
And then you have the Pistons who are on a 3-game win streak.
I love the Pistons this year. I'm so hyped. Like last year, I started following them a lot last year because of their giant losing streak. And like as I kept watching them, I was like, oh, like I want them to win so bad. Like they were so bad. And now this year, like watching the big steps that they've taken, like they didn't get a ton of people. I think they got Malik Beasley, Sadiq Bey.
I just think that their young guys that they've had are just developing and getting better.
That's what I'm saying. Is like they got like a couple of like meh guys, like a couple of like I mean Malik Beasley is playing out of his mind. He has more threes than anyone in the NBA right now this season, and so he's playing amazing. But they really only got like a couple. Like they didn't go out and like chase down a superstar. They were like, no, we're gonna trust Cade. We're gonna trust Jaden Ivey. We're gonna, trust Thompson.
God bless Cade, though. He looks like he has been like aged.
He's been through it.
He looks like he's been through
He looks like those like before and after president pictures after like their terms.
Yeah, literally.
When they like go in looking like spry and young, and then like their pictures like gray and wrinkly.
Their eyes like permanently half closed. Yeah.
It's like it's like twitching.
He's been doing so incredible. Like I just think he's been a great leader, and he like these are his last few games: 33 points, 4 rebounds, 10 assists against the Kings, against the Lakers, 25 and 10.
Yep.
Against Phoenix, 28, 13 assists, 2 steals.
Yeah.
33 points, 7 assists, and 4 blocks against Utah. That is Utah.
But
I'm just happy that they're winning games. Like I'm happy that other people are contributing so that there can be a little less of the save Cade.
Yep.
And especially like that game winner by Jaden Ivey
was perfect.
Was so legit just to like put them ahead by 1. And Malik Beasley had 22 points that game. Jalen Duren.
That's what I'm saying. Jalen Duren looks good. Yeah.
Yeah. Jaden Ivey had 19 points that game, 6 rebounds. Like people are starting to contribute. Amen Thompson, 8 rebounds. I just want to say maybe.
Guess what? That one's Asar Thompson.
Thompson, sorry.
I know. I was
Amen's on the Rockets.
Yes,
Asar, okay.
Exactly. I was my friend Danielle. She messaged me the other day. She's like, I just wanted to let you know, like you said Amen when you meant Asar, and I was like, I get them mixed up every time. Like
I know.
I just say their names.
Listen, I felt so bad when the draft was happening, and first of all, I wanted to cry at their little story because if you watched the draft that year, they wanted to be in the NBA. It wasn't their parents, like not saying that obviously every kid wants to be in the NBA, but they like literally were out practicing every day, like at the age of 7. Like they were like, no,
they put themselves out there.
We're going to the NBA. Yeah. But I felt so bad when Asar had to go to the Pistons. I'm like, that's mean.
But look at him now, and Amen Thompson on the Rockets. Like their parents have to be so proud just because like. Like the Rockets are doing so well and the Pistons are doing so much better this year. Like the Pistons
they are turning it around. I just wanted to mention, just because you could tell how many people are rebounding. Yeah. And again, this is probably me being a bit of a bitter Nuggets fan because if you've watched a game, they don't know what one rebound is. They had 10 offensive rebounds, 34 defensive rebounds. Like everyone was getting into the action, and the Kings were rebounding pretty good as well. But it's just like so important to me because you get those second chance points
every time,
or if you're against the Nuggets, third or fourth chance points, baby. So they had 15 second chance points, and obviously that kept them in. Yeah, it was double what the Kings had, and. I know it seems like a silly thing, or just like a fundamental thing that everyone should do, but it really does make a difference in the game when you get down to the stats. And it's like, you see a team has double the second chance points because you just created another possession for your team immediately. And it's really important to me. And I hate, like, it's effort. It's effort. And there's nothing more miserable. Like, And again, we've talked about this. There's plenty of times that the rebound literally like hits the rim weird and just
falls into someone's hands.
Falls into someone's hands. But yeah, if you're not boxing out, or if someone shoots a shot and all 5 of your players are already jogging back, I hate you.
That's one of my biggest pet peeves, because like I know you're in the NBA, like you're supposed to be so confident in yourself that your shot's going to go in. It does not matter. It is effort. You need to be crashing the boards. The second that you shoot your shot, you should be following your shot. And the second that you see it go in, turn around.
Oh, yeah. Everyone knows. Oh, my gosh. There was I can't remember which game it was, because I can't remember if it was the Phoenix game that the Nuggets won against, because the scream I yelled so loud.
The scream you scrumped.
The scream I scrumped. Because when I tell you that I'm pretty sure it was when we were failing to the G League Pelicans for 99% of the game.
Yeah.
And Michael Porter Jr. shot a 3, and it like literally bounced off toward his way, and he was turning around even though it was bouncing towards him. I was like,
I would have, the way that I would have broken my TV, I would have turned into an angry man.
I was like, did that
just happen?
And other people saw it. I was like, please tell me I'm not the only one that just saw that. Please tell me.
I hate it so much.
Oh, it made me vomitous.
But like I said, I'm like I said, you're in the NBA. You're supposed to be confident.
Yeah.
I get that, but like, follow your shot.
Please.
Box out.
Please.
Like go grab a freaking rebound. Like it literally, like the extra 2 seconds of effort it takes to follow your shot or to just crash the boards as like the other players on the team that aren't shooting could literally give you an extra so many freaking points.
Double the points that another team has.
Yes. Literally.
Moving on though, I wanted to talk about a team just because I don't really have anything else to say about the Pistons, but
me neither. Go Pistons.
The Memphis Grizzlies, who are like my favorite team to watch that's not the Nuggets.
I love them. I love Ja Morant. We've always loved Ja Morant. But
if you go back to our episode where we like very, very early ranked our standings, like predicted, and then we kind of like reevaluated after like preseason and stuff. I think I put like the Mavs at 3 or 4. I think 4 or something. Yeah. And I was like, but Ja Morant, when they were there, were like literally the 2 seed when the Nuggets won the championship. And you're like, I just don't.
I just like the way that I thought about it though is that like, because like for me,
it's just funny because I thought I was being delusional.
No, God, no, because I mean, and your point was like so valid, because I think what I was saying is that like the only reason I didn't like, I guess, really believe in them was because like last year everyone on their team was like injured and gone. Like it was literally the G League.
You couldn't
Grizzlies.
see anything that like would give you an inkling as to how they would play. Well, and like everyone's like, we still haven't even seen Gigi Jackson.
Yeah.
And I like their next man up ideology like has just paid off. Like Scottie Pippen Jr. has basically become like their backup point guard, but also he is like a starting caliber, almost like he's almost a starting caliber point guard.
He's amazing.
There's just like Santi Aldama. I think that's how you say his name, right?
It is. Yep. Okay. And I've always been a really big Santi Aldama fan. He's one of those guys that's like so quiet on the court, but like he impresses me so much. He's always got the effort. He's always like all the way in the game in every aspect of the game, offense, defense, transition, everything. He's always all there. And Jaren Jackson Jr. is literally having like an MIP type season. Yeah. Like he's
30. This is their game against, of course, it's the Pelicans with no Zion, no Brennan,
but still,
nobody.
But still,
33 points, 5 rebounds, 3 assists, 4 steals, and 3 blocks.
Yep.
Shooting
for Jaren Jackson.
Yes, shooting 52% from the field, 4 of 6 from 3.
He's been amazing.
Yeah, incredible season.
A couple of years ago, when the Grizzlies were second, and they had like Ja and Jaren Jackson Jr. I hated that like the Warriors were like their rivals that year. I hated it because I was like, I want to love the Grizzlies. Like I love Ja Morant. He's one of the most fun players to watch. He's so athletic. He's fast. He's always just like so
dynamic,
in shape and
like
so dynamic. Yes. He plays. He just like plays with an athleticism that's so fun to watch, especially for like a point guard, and just like his personality is so fun on the court. And him and Jaren Jackson Jr., JJJ, the other JJJ, the first one, they're like, I guess like relationship on and off the court is amazing.
Yeah.
They're one of my favorite duos to watch. And like I said, like I think maybe a lot of people won't think about it because Jaren Jackson Jr. has, been in the league for several years now. But I think that he could be an MIP candidate as well.
Well, and it's like
he's looking amazing.
I'm just looking at their game against the Raptors, which again, it's the Raptors. But the Raptors are one of those teams that plays hard. Like they're not one of those teams that
they're like
concedes.
a Piston. They're like a Pistons.
They remind me of the Pistons, the Nets. Like they may not have the record to show it, but they
compete.
They compete, and you can't just come out and expect to win that game. I mean, of course, they came in and won it by 30, but. Like when you just look at the number, because everyone is getting in there, all of their young talent is also making those leaps. You have Zach Edey, 21 points, 16 rebounds that game.
I love Zach Edey.
JJJ, 21 points, 11 rebounds. Desmond Bane, 19 points, 5 rebounds. And this is a game that Ja Morant didn't even play in. And then Luke Kennard, 15 points. Ja did play that game, but he only had 15 points. And when you look at that, sometimes, like, when you think of course, you think of Ja as the leader. So when you hear that they beat them by 30 and Ja Morant only had to play 24 minutes and 15 points, you're like, like they got blown out.
That's what I'm saying. Like their team this year, and I think Zach Edey, them drafting Zach Edey was such a great choice for them because I talked about it. Like I love getting to have someone like Zach Edey and Jaren Jackson Jr. on that team. Like that's rebounds on rebounds on rebounds. That's second chance points. That's blocks. That's fantastic rim protection.
Towers.
Yes, the Twin Towers.
Yeah.
Sorry, New York. Whoopsies. But truly though, they're just like they're incredible and. Their team is way healthier this year. Like I said, like they were literally last year, they were pulling guys up from the G League like every other game. And they were signing guys to 10 days. And
God bless them.
They were just
them from last year.
Yes, they were so beyond injured. Like, I mean, obviously, Ja had his his suspension finished, and then he got injured with a season-ending shoulder injury,
rotator cuff, something like that.
Yes, exactly. And so it's just like for a team that's been like so ready to have their leader back, and for a team that's probably just been kind of beat down, and I want to say this too. I hate Zach? What's his freaking name? Taylor Jenkins. I knew it was Taylor.
Jenkins. Okay.
But one thing that I love about the Grizzlies is that a few years ago, Taylor Jenkins, I think, was either Coach of the Year like 3 years ago, or yes, he was. He was when they were second in the league, and he was Coach of the Year. And then obviously they had like a few rough years. And I love that the Grizzlies have rode with him because as much as I hate him as a person, like I think he drives me nuts. He's got the worst freaking personality.
I think he is super underrated as a coach overall in the league.
He rides for his team. He fights for his team. He supports his team. Like you will never see him going against his team. And I always appreciate that. He's a great coach overall. He really likes to, like last year when they had like a bunch of injured guys and G leaguers, and like they literally had like a different lineup every game, it felt like, because they just like, they could not keep guys healthy. They had guys that had to play for their G League team.
And they just had to roll with it.
They just had to roll with it. And like, even though they were one of the worst teams in the league last year, like the Grizzlies front office still rode with Taylor Jenkins and their team still rode for him. He always has his locker room. And you got to respect him for that.
Well, it almost reminds me like just how much they love each other. I don't know if y'all have seen some of the videos of their player Yuki, who's like, what is he, like 5'9"?
He's 5'9". Yep.
Is he really? Okay. He's like, I was joking. I thought he was like at least 5'11".
Nope,
he's like 5'9". And Ja Morant's like obsessed with him. And so is Memphis. Literally will chant, we want Yuki. Because he's like an deep bench player that gets to play like
he's 5'9". You're in the NBA at 5'9", you're gonna be a deep bench player.
But it just cracks me up because it almost reminds me, and again, I know you guys probably hate when I compare everything to the Nuggets, but it just reminds me of our like championship season, just like when everyone seemed to be having a great time. Like you have all these guys off the bench that are like scoring double digits. Like everyone just seems to be playing for each other and not themselves.
Yep.
And even like Ja Morant, he's still dunking, by the way. You lied.
Yeah, liar. I saw you say you weren't going to dunk anymore.
I've already seen multiple. But you can tell he's reining it back because he wants to be healthy and like he knows how good his team is. And I've just been impressed with them. Like they're really good. And what are they? They're number 3 right now or number 2? Oh, they're number 2. So Yeah, so Thunder 24-5, and then
They're 22-10, man.
Yeah, 22-10. So they have one more win than the Rockets right now. I guess we can go ahead and talk about the Thunder because
shout out to you though. That was a great call on your ranking of them.
And I thought, honestly, like, I'll be honest with everyone, I thought I was being a little delusional, but I just love the Grizzlies.
No, that's me with the Portland Trailblazers.
Yeah,
let me just say that.
God bless. And then
shout out to you though. That was a good pick. They've been amazing.
But moving on, y'all know I hate the Thunder so much, but we have to talk about them. SGA and the Thunder are on a 9-game win streak. The NBA Cup game apparently does not count towards regular season.
Just the final game. Yeah.
Don't know why.
I don't know. It doesn't make sense, but
stupid.
But they did lose that game.
They did lose that
in the
to
middle.
Bucks, by the way.
Losers. Just kidding.
But SGA, I'm so glad you brought it up that he hasn't been shooting like half as many free throws, because I agree, and I can't tell if it's because he's like, because I don't watch every Thunder game, so I can't even tell if he's just grifting less or maybe the refs just aren't calling it.
I think on TBH, I think it's a little bit of both. I think that he also just like has so much help this year. Like he's obviously they've had this team being built for several years around him. And I think that this year, like they truly just have so much help on both ends of the court. Like Alex Caruso, if you don't know, just got a fat like $20 million a year extension with them, literally to like just be a defender. If you know him, you know he averages like max, like he'll hit like 12 points a game. He's not an offensive player. He is there strictly for defense, and he's done an incredible job.
Alex Caruso is like, I would be hard pressed to find a better perimeter defender than him in the NBA.
Yep. Imagine him and Dyson Daniels on the same team.
Alex
20
Caruso
steals a game.
is so incredible when you watch him defend on the perimeter, because he's so close to you and manages to not lay a single finger on you.
It's the quick feet.
I just wanted to say, again, everyone knows I don't love Shea. He was a Kentucky Wildcat. Still not my favorite guy. Anyway, he had 45 points last game. And
did it hurt you to say that? Hurt you to say it out loud?
And 41 points the game before. Of course, it was against the Pacers and the Wizards. We don't know what happened to Tyrese Halliburton.
It needs to be studied, and we will be talking about that soon, because we got to look into that a little deeper.
Yeah. But 25 against Miami, 35 against Orlando, 32 against Houston, 39 against Dallas, 31 against the Pelicans. He just has been playing amazing basketball, and his supporting cast has been amazing. And this is like them playing without Chet. I mean, you have Isaiah Hartenstein, who's proved to be an amazing player.
So true. I didn't even think about the fact that like Chet hasn't been playing for a while. Like,
which is insane, because like Chet was having like an MVP year. Like our first game against the Thunder, he bossed Jokic, and I hate to ever say that to anyone.
Literally, no. And he's been like just the team in general, I guess I should say. Like I feel like their entire team, we all like make fun of them or made fun of them. At least I did, with like their like barking at the end of games and like their post-game interviews.
Cringy, and y'all should all be embarrassed.
I'm dead. So, and that's like, it's funny because like we talk about the Grizzlies from a few years ago and how amazing they were. Mm-hmm. That's part of what made them so amazing, was just like being so close and so connected that like they could be cringy together, and they were winning games. And like when the vibes are high, I feel like it's so much easier to win games because you're playing basketball with guys that you love. You guys are having fun playing basketball. And I literally feel like that changes the game. And I think that as we will talk about later, is probably part of the reason that like the Nuggets are not doing so well. I don't think that they're having fun.
Well, the thing is a lot of people, when the trade rumor was going around that Zach LaVine might come to the Nuggets, and I was telling everyone this is a lateral or worse move, because not only are you messing with team chemistry, but you're messing with team chemistry to get a guy who is not even an averagely better defender than MPJ, who's not a defender at all. So it made literally...
Who's not a defender at all.
So I was confused, and then everyone was like, all we need to do is get more offense so we can outscore the other team, because that's always worked. We don't even need defense if you just outscore.
Yeah, we just needed to score 151 to beat the Cavs, who scored 149.
Yeah, sure. Let's talk about the team that has only lost 5 games, 6 if you count the NBA Cup. Their offense, 20th in 3-point percentage, 15th in field goal percentage, 9th in points per game, middle of the pack-ish.
Yep.
And then you have Their defense.
They're number one in everything except
For blocks. Where they're
and
fourth.
rebounds. And rebounds, they're average, but like either way.
They're first in opposing points per game, first in opposing field goal percentage, first in opposing 3-point percentage, fourth in blocks, first in steals. And you're going to tell me that I had people telling me that defense didn't matter. And when I tell you, I wanted to scream and shake these people. Because what do you mean?
BFFR.
Let's do simple math. If you have more defense, the other team scores less points. And when you score more points than the other team, you always win.
We love scoring more points.
We love
but
that.
You do have to defend the other team in order to do that.
To stop them from scoring more points than you. Because if their defense is keeping you from outscoring them, it's a simple numbers game. Okay,
we love
children?
Math.
So clearly their defense is just so amazing. They have, Lou Dort. They have Alex Caruso, which is so painful. But I just think like everyone on their team plays great defense. I mean, like I don't.
They do. Again, it's an effort thing a lot of the time. Like that's. I just like they're all always there
it
on
seems
both
like they're
sides
all
of the court.
always playing at 100%.
That's what I'm saying. Like they're
on both ends.
Always there. And you know what? And I think about this like. You have so many teams who are like, oh, their guys aren't in game shape yet. Us being one of them.
Yeah.
This team just like comes out and they're ready to go. Like they're in game shape. And
they're young. They're spry. They're.
Yeah, they look really good. And I would not be surprised to see them in the finals this year.
Yeah. I mean, I still think they have like one more heartbreak in them before they get there. Like, especially when it came to the NBA final, the cup final game. Like, I think the lights.
The lights were too bright.
The lights were a little too bright for them. So I do think they've got probably one more heartbreak loss, I would assume, in the Western Conference Finals.
Totally. Yeah.
But with the way, I mean, you have the Grizzlies who've been playing great. I was going to say, a lot of the teams that we're used to being so dominant in the West are big question marks this year. So who knows? I mean, I definitely think that they have kind of a straight path to the Western Conference Finals. I think it's like between that and the finals. That'll be interesting. Speaking of another team, though, that's on a run, the Knicks have... The last time I checked, they had won like 13 of their last 17, and this was like a few days ago.
Yeah.
So I don't know what it is now.
I will check for you.
Okay, thanks, Mom.
They're on their last 10. They're 8-2. They're on a 6-game win streak.
Okay. The New York Knicks did not look great to start. They looked very discombobulated.
Which we talked about this, and I said this too when they first did it. Like, Cat was traded to them right before the season.
The day of media day, essentially.
Literally.
The day before media day.
Yes, he was traded to them right before the season started. And so I was just saying, like, he makes sense for their team. He really does. Yeah. And they also had just gotten Mikal Bridges like earlier in the summer and all this stuff. And so it's like they definitely made some changes. But, like, they had all the pieces to be there. And I was like, like we said, give them 13 games, 15 games, whatever it was.
And I think that was my question for everyone. I think I asked for people to give their opinions on if they thought it was just chemistry that needed to be built or if they thought that it wasn't a right fit. Yeah. And for the people that just said, there were a lot of people that just said chemistry. And clearly that's it because Karl Anthony Towns has literally been having a career year. And I have never liked
amazing.
him. I've always hated him on the Timberwolves. And I think I might actually kind of like him now.
He was the only big I liked on the Timberwolves. And so because I always hated Rudy Gobert.
Yeah, I just hate everyone on the Timberwolves, but
that's
now I don't have to hate them because they suck so bad. They've done it to themselves.
They've done it to themselves.
I don't even have to worry about them.
But man, Kat looks amazing on this team. And like the team makes sense together and like they're flowing way better now. They're, like I said, they're obviously on a 6-game win streak, 8-2 in their last 10. They're winning at home. They're hyped. They're happy. Like, again, they're kind of playing that like happy, like we're happy to be here brand of basketball. And when you play that kind of basketball as an NBA player, like I think a lot of people forget, and you guys will hear me talk and you talk about just like the mental side of the game and stuff like that. But like it's so important when you like, especially guys with the NBA, like they've been working for this since they were little and they like it's been their entire life. And a lot of the times it's really easy for them to forget that and just be like, well, we're losing and now I hate it and I don't want to play basketball and like
Yeah.
it's becoming a job and blah, blah, blah. And like, of course it's a job, but like you're damn good at this. And it's something that like you loved so much that you worked so hard to get to the NBA. And I think that like when you're happy and when you're like playing fun basketball and you get to really love the game again, like you're going to play your best brand of basketball. And I feel like I see a lot of that in this team.
Well, and I just, he is now, he's second in rebounds right now. He had 2 of those like 20 plus rebound games. And he was never a great rebounder for the Timberwolves.
No,
and
a lot of that was Gobert.
Yeah, I was like, I think a part of that was due to his role and just because he wasn't their true center and he wasn't just hanging out under the rim. And I just feel like he has developed into a great person for their team and has just been scoring nonstop. He had 31, 10, shooting 73% from the field versus Toronto the other day.
Yeah.
21, 9, and 2 against the Spurs. He just has been doing, and then the winner against Orlando, 22 points, 22 rebounds. And then literally the game after against Minnesota, I was so happy for him again. For someone who doesn't even really love him, 32 points, 20 rebounds. And I think he's just been a breath of fresh air, like for like Knicks fans, because Jalen Brunson, I think the Knicks had the highest usage for their starters last year.
They did, yeah.
And
they were
I think
playing like 40 plus minutes
every single night. And so I think it's just been nice for Jalen Brunson to not have to have the ball in his hands so much this season.
Yep.
Even after losing, you lose DiVincenzo, you lose Hartenstein. I think a lot of people were confused about the move. And again, how many times do we have to say it looks like the Knicks won that trade?
Yeah, no, they really did. And I think like a big part too is that like Mikal Bridges has like fallen into like his own place there. Like we were talking about, and you'll see this here, like Mikal Bridges this season, like at the beginning of the season was 40th. In his stats and everything like that. Like he was doing really horribly. And then in the last 30 days, 17th. And in the last 7 days, 10th.
Yeah.
Like he's comfortably falling into this role with them where he knows what he's doing. He's averaging currently 18 points a game, 3.3 rebounds and 3.3 assists. And so it's just like you have so many guys who kind of know their role now. And then you have guys like OG, Miles McBride, Cameron Payne, Jericho Sims, who kind of just like are good supporting cast guys for them. And like you can just throw in and expect them to help hold leads and to play defense and play hard and just kind of fit in wherever they need to. They feel like a little bit more of a whole team now.
Yeah, it's like, and I think we said this at the beginning of this season at first. We were like, wow, dare we say the East might be good? And I wouldn't say the East is good, but at least the top teams in the East are more competitive. And it doesn't just feel like it's the Celtics versus literally like
the Knicks.
Yeah. Well, even like not. It felt like it was like the Celtics versus nobody last
the
year.
Celtics first? Everybody, the whole team. The whole league.
Speaking of East, before we get into our Warriors and our Nuggets, I wanted to talk about the Cavs because the Nuggets played the Cavs last night. And while no one played any defense, the Cavs looked damn good. And the Cavs have now, to me, become that matchup against the Nuggets that the Timberwolves were because they have like their 2 bigs. And it stops Jokic from doing a lot of Jokic-like things.
You can't do much.
Jarrett
with those
Allen
guys.
has been amazing on both ends of the floor. Evan Mobley, like, if you would have told me Evan Mobley hit 93s yesterday, I would be like, yeah, sounds about right.
93s.
Sure.
The score was 149 to 135. That was the final score of the game. And there was no overtime, obviously, if you were wondering.
That was the most points that
regular.
the Nuggets have given up in Ball Arena since 1991, mind you.
It was before I was born. That was before I was even
born too.
Yeah, that was before I was even a Nuggets fan.
Yeah, I wasn't even thought about then. So that was painful. But neither team was playing any defense yesterday, I guess because they didn't have to. It was just a shootout. They were firing on all cylinders. It was honestly so painful because a lot of you, I'm assuming, have been NBA fans if you're watching us for a while.
Yeah. And
everyone knows that Jamal Murray and Donovan Mitchell in the bubble was like the must-watch TV. It was incredible. They, were compared to each other. And it's like so very obvious that Donovan Mitchell takes that seriously because Jamal Murray looked like he was about 10 years older than Donovan Mitchell last night. Donovan Mitchell looked so much faster, so much younger, so much more athletic. He was
in shape.
Just
running circles around him really the whole night.
could not be stopped. They just have a team that like has so many people to use, and I just think like their starters have just done an incredible job this year. Darius Garland could not be guarded. Like he was just hitting every single mid-range floater. It was painful, but I just wanted to say they're kind of scary. I know they didn't do the best when they were up against the full healthy Celtics.
Yeah.
But that was like the beginning of the season to me, and
Yep.
I think the Celtics knew they had to like kind of take care of business then.
Yeah.
But the Cavs are kind of scary to me. They've got their Twin Towers too.
They are they're 9-1 in their last 10. They're on a 6-game win streak. They are 17-1 at home.
Yeah.
17-1 at home, 10-3 away. Like it doesn't matter for them where they're playing. Like they're going to compete. And they just, again, they have a full team. Like they have defense, they've got offense. They're fantastic in transition. They know how to work together. They can play with two bigs. They can play with one big.
They can play fast. They don't have to play fast. Like they're just so versatile, I think, as a whole.
Yeah.
That I just wanted to shout them out because it's really annoying and I don't love it.
Yeah, it's just must be nice.
I'm not a fan.
Their offense, I was going to say their offense is first in a lot of things. They're second in points per game, first in field goal percentage, first in 3-point percentage, fourth in turnovers, which means that they have the fourth least turnovers per game in the league.
They had like 6 people with more than 2 3-pointers, I believe, yesterday, like halfway into the game.
Draining.
And part of that is the Nuggets defense, but I digress. Moving on.
Did we want to? I don't know what I'm reading there. I don't. That's so weird. Who are the Warriors? Mulan? Anyone else? Who's that? Oh, these ones. Okay, so listen. We're ass, all right? This is all I have to say. Well, we suck a big one. Dennis Schroeder's been fine on the team. Like he hasn't been helpful. He hasn't been not helpful though.
You didn't have one trade and it didn't solve all your problems?
Oh, I hate that.
That's so weird.
We were actually better before him, but I don't think it's him that is the problem, because obviously we only lost DeAnthony Melton and he wasn't even playing, and then we lost a pick. So that wasn't anything crazy to me. I don't know if it's like Steve Kerr's coaching or what it is. We can't finish games. Steph Curry here, and I will say this. This is one thing that will make me feel a little bit better, is that Steph Curry in December is my least favorite Steph Curry. He always goes through these slumps in December where his shooting sucks, where he's just not the same guy. He's not in it. And I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's just that like he's busy and wants to spend the holidays with his family and like he just doesn't care. But like he always then has like a really good comeback January, and the team always does a lot better in January. So I'm really, really hoping that that's what is going on. But they're 5-13 in their last 18. They are literally playing despicable basketball. Pods is playing well, but that's kind of sad because Pods was playing bad when everyone else was playing good, and now Pods is the only one doing well.
Well, I wanted to say, like, speaking of they can't close games, there have been back-to-back games now, because the Christmas Day game and the game yesterday, where they were down 20, and in the last 5 minutes have come back to like within 5 or within 3, and then lost.
Yep. A bunch of fake comebacks. It's pissing me off.
Yeah.
And like Kuminga, a lot of people were talking crap because they were saying that like the Warriors are still, and I say like a lot of people as in like analysts and whatever, but
professionals,
whatever. But they were talking crap because they were saying that, like the Warriors are looking for, or like we're hoping that that Pods and Kuminga would take this big jump and be their homegrown stars and like blah, blah, blah. But now they're looking for a trade. I'm like, they were looking for a trade anyway.
Yeah.
They've been looking for a trade.
They've been shopping.
They spent the entire summer.
They've been window shopping.
Literally, though, because they spent the entire summer looking at other players and other teams and talking about how to make things happen without giving up an arm and a leg. And that's why, like, the Dennis Schroeder thing was so exciting, because we gave up
something.
Yes, and we gave up a player that was going to be injured the entire season.
Yeah.
With an expiring contract that we can technically pick up next summer.
If they wanted.
If they wanted to, we can pick him back up. And then we gave up a pick. And so, like, you get another player, a good defender, a good shooter and everything like that. Another really good, like, kind of backup point guard for Steph. But he hasn't been playing the way that they said that they were going to be playing him. Like, Dennis Schroeder and Steph are playing almost all of their minutes together when they said that they were going to be staggering them and having Schroeder playing all of Steph's, like all of the non-Steph minutes.
Yeah, all the bench.
Exactly. And like freaking Draymond Green has had like some of the worst games that I've seen him play. Like I'm going to pull up his most recent games. They have been so bad. So like yesterday,
he didn't play.
He didn't play yesterday.
Yeah,
sorry.
Steph and Draymond didn't play yesterday.
Yes, I should say that. Steph and Draymond didn't play yesterday. But so I'm going to go to Draymond's last few games. 3, 10 rebounds, 4 blocks. He's still a great defender. That's awesome. But like he's not doing really anything else. That's awesome. Great. 4 points, 7 rebounds, 5 assists. We always joke about Draymond. Draymond is the king of like quintuple singles. Like he'll get you a tiny bit of everything. He's a tiny bit of everything. But his play is more so less about stats than anything else. Like he's there to be a facilitator and a supporter and to make things happen and to set screens and blah, blah, blah. But again, 3-10, 4 blocks, 4 points, 7 rebounds, 5 assists, 0 points, 0 rebounds, 1 steal. He played 20 minutes in that game. 20 minutes in that game. And he had 0. He was a minus 42. He was a minus 42.
How is the minus 42?
Yeah. And so then like the game before that, he played well. He had 21 points, 7 rebounds, 4 assists. Like that's a good Draymond game.
Yeah.
Because like, you know, he's actually scoring. He's helping on other ends. But like then again, 8 points, 3 rebounds, 4 assists, 6 points, 6 rebounds, 7 assists. Like he's doing almost nothing this year when at the very beginning of the season, he was literally like having the most threes of his career.
Yeah.
He was averaging like 3 threes a game and still playing the incredible defense. And again, he's still a great defender. We need that. I'm grateful for that. You know, we're not always letting teams score 150 on us like our other team, the Denver Nuggets.
Whatever.
But you know, like, so he's been nothing, and he's a really important part of our team. Steph shooting like ass. He's the part of he is our team. So it's just like they've played so bad. I don't even know what can fix them at this point. Thankfully, though, Jonathan Kuminga is really kind of coming into his own. Yesterday, he had a career high. He had 34 points, 10 rebounds, 5 assists, 2 steals, and a block. He was shooting almost 60%. He was 11 for 19. 11 for 14 from the free throw line. He had 4 offensive rebounds, 6 defensive rebounds. I love to see shit like that.
Despite the loss.
Again, despite the loss, which I'm okay with that because it's Kuminga. I still want him to like develop more and to kind of really get into like a role, like a comfortable role with the team. Trace Jackson Davis has been playing pretty well. My problem really has been with Steve Kerr and the way that he's been like running these lineups. Like Kyle Anderson, as weird as it is, I know they call him slow-mo, but he really is a great perimeter defender. Mm-hmm. And they've really been needing that. And Steve Kerr has not been playing him. He's had several DNPs, like coach's choice. Because like Steve Kerr is trying to like narrow down his 15-person lineup or whatever, you know, his 15-person rotation. But he hasn't been playing one of our best defenders. And we've been losing games over and over and over again. And again, as we just said, you need to have good defense to let teams not outscore you. And if we're not playing one of our best defenders, what are we doing?
And you're not scoring, then it's
bad. Then it's bad.
Bad.
And I think another problem is like Kevon Looney's been bad. Lindy Waters, who was playing well, is now playing like shit. Andrew Wiggins was having another like a monster season and is now playing like everyone is just playing bad. And so I don't know if it continues. I don't know if it's just that they're just kind of falling out of rhythm, but it looks bad for them. And I don't even really have much to say besides the fact that they're playing like ass and it's not fun to watch. Like my Buddy Hield jersey though, isn't it cute? Check it out. Yay, so cute. I don't want to talk about him ever again though. I think so.
Same.
I can't wait to talk about this team though. It's also going to hurt my feelings. So.
Well, I'm so glad that you were talking about Steve Kerr because never in the past have I really been that critical of Malone. I have never felt more annoyed with him than I have this season and last season. Just with the way that it's starting to kind of come together, how miserably awful this man is at player development. Yeah. And speaking of lineups, his lineups have been some of the most disgusting lineups.
The Christmas Day game, there were several times where we looked at each other and we were like, what is this lineup? What is this lineup?
I was like, what?
Why do we have Peyton Watson, Julian Strother, Christian Brown, Jamal Murray, and Sarge in the game? What is this lineup?
Well, Sarge hasn't played in weeks.
Yeah, I know. I'm just saying, just like, he just goes and
bizarre,
he picks these random ass players.
And it's like, first of all, I hate when you have players that are playing well that you have shown that you liked, at least with Hunter Tyson.
Yes.
And he
didn't touch
busts
the floor.
his freaking ass, and then he won't play him. Like, I'm sorry, it's just so obvious, and I kind of realized it before because we had Hartenstein at one point. Mm-hmm. We had Jay Huff. Jay Huff hasn't had like the best couple of games at the Grizzlies, but he was starting out really, really amazingly. Did he even play more than like 2 garbage time games? I don't even know last year. Mm-hmm. Like, Michael Malone just does, and I don't know if it's because he doesn't like what the front office is doing, but it's like shown time and time again that he only cares about his vets, like his Jeff Green people and like all of that. And like, I heard like that was a reason that the front office didn't re-sign Justin Holiday, because Justin Holiday was amazing and would come in, and he wasn't always the best player, of course, but when we needed him, there were a lot of times that he would come in
and add, shows up.
He would shoot some threes, and he's one of the Holiday brothers. And I was like, why did they not re-sign him? Because even now I'm like, why did they not go out and get him? Like, I just feel like because he's not signed anywhere. Like, I'm assuming you could sign him for vet minimum. And they're like, because they know Malone would play him. And it's true though. Like, everyone's scared. Like, and then you've had Peyton Watson, who's like somewhat in the doghouse. Like, he gets to play sometimes and he gets DPOG, and then randomly it looks like Malone forgets he's even there
and doesn't
so it's like
play him at all.
So obvious that he only cares about his core. But then like the only person you bench for making mistakes, like besides young guys, but out of like the core, is Michael Porter. Yeah. I don't know if Jamal Murray has some kind of blackmail on you. I don't know what it is. But his lineups, like, it's so very clear that he only trusts his like older players, his starting 5. And even then he'll bench Michael Porter, but no one else. And it's like Jamal Murray has deserved many a time this season to get benched.
I think what pisses me off about that too is that like, so yesterday, and this is like on Malone's coaching a lot too, not yesterday, Christmas Day, during that game, Jamal Murray was questionable. We literally didn't even see him come out to warm up until like 20 minutes left. Like,
he's always the last to warm up. So that
okay. But either way, I'm just saying that he was like last one in, first one out. Yeah. Like he it's not like he was hanging around forever or anything like that. But like, we didn't know that he was even going to be playing until around that time is what I'm saying. He was still questionable until we saw him come out 20 minutes left of warm-ups and everything like that. Or shoot around before the warm-ups. And he wasn't even supposed to be playing because he's still injured. And he played like freaking 38 minutes that game. He just kept putting him in. I'm like, how are you going to like, and he's playing like ass. I'm like, he wasn't even supposed to be playing this game. And now he's playing 40 minutes and playing like ass. Like, take him out of the game, sit him, put someone else in.
And you have Hunter Tyson, who literally is probably actually a pretty decent defender from what I've seen lately, because he tries. Yeah. And he busts his ass for rebounds. He busts his ass for those loose balls. The amount of it was turnover after turnover after turnover after turnover. And then you have a great game from Jalen Pickett and Hunter Tyson the other game. And it's like, why not throw him in when your whole team looks like they could not care less? Christian Brown during the Christmas Day game and even last game has been so abysmal. And I almost like want to trade him. I don't even know if his contract is tradable. But if you remember, we were so high up on him at the beginning of the season because he had that offensive input. But lately, I mean, the past games yesterday he had like several dunks, which allowed for him to get like 15 points. But he's back to, besides yesterday, missing all those threes. He was 3 for 23 in the past month until yesterday. So now he's 6 for 23 in the past, or 6 for 26 maybe it is, or something like that. Anyway, so he has not been shooting the 3 well anymore. Peyton Watson regressed in that. I mean, like, we had like 3 games where we're like, oh my God, is everyone a 3-point shooter?
We're all 3-point shooters.
And then you have Peyton Watson now, who bricks everything. And Christian Brown is nowhere near the screen navigator nor the perimeter defender that KCP was in any regard. And I almost don't even care if he shoots threes. Like, I want KCP back. He it almost amazes me that we have the same starting five and the perimeter defense has changed that much with one person. Like that just proves how much KCP did. And I think he's always been one of the most underrated defenders. Like he has been so incredible, his defense. And I think in our championship run, and even last year, we had like a top 10 defense or a top 5 defense in the playoffs, not throughout the year. And it's because of how much KCP was so active and so good at not fouling. And now no one can stay in front of everyone. Everyone is trailing. Jamal Murray's running behind Donovan Mitchell yesterday. Julian Strother running 5 feet behind defenders and then fouling everyone on the backside. Like everyone's missing all these back screens and everyone's just getting easy layups. Like all these blow-bys. We lost by 2 to the fucking Blazers, excuse my French, by 2 as all 5 of them watch Anthony fucking Simons literally glide tiptoe to the rim and get a layup.
He was
win
pirouetting. He was doing spins and turns.
He tapped his heels and the defense is so horrendous.
Okay. So like the thing for me is like, I feel like, and we were talking about this, like I feel like I watch games different at home and then at the game. Like I see different things. I think I'm able to like really focus on like the whole game when I'm like at home and like I can kind of watch everything. But like I feel like I see a lot more like glaring
play-by-play things. Yeah.
Like when I'm at the game because it's so close. And we were 5 rows back. And so like we were really close. We could see everything close up. And the amount of times that I saw guys just sitting in the paint watching guys on the Suns who, mind you, were having a literal 60% from 3 shooting night. And you're just staring at them like they weren't even closing out. Like they would literally watch someone catch a ball on the 3-point line, set up, and you're still staring at them.
And I feel like we've said this
every week.
So I'm like, again, in my personal opinion, I think Malone and Jokic are too close. And I think that Jokic would literally request a trade if they did anything to Malone. But it's become so glaringly obvious how, like, I do think that Nuggets are still one of the best clutch teams, which is why I also say people can look at the record and be like, you're still, you're plus 500. Why are you complaining? You won.
It's because Jamal Murray.
The last 2 games. And it's like, yeah, because they turn on in the last 4. You can't play 1 quarter of fucking basketball, okay?
And that's what they do.
And that's what they do. Like, they're good in the clutch, but the rebounds, like, it's not even, that's what pisses me off the most with the Nuggets is it's not even second chance points. It's third and fourth chance points. We have no offensive rebounding, no defensive rebounding. So we're not getting second chance points on our end, and then we're letting them have 3 to 4 second chance points. Yep. And I don't understand. And like, yes, you can look at Jokic's stats and say he still had a triple double. I would say this last month he looks the most frustrated he's been with the team. And I mean, it looked really bad at the beginning of the season. Then we had a good kind of stretch where they looked like they were starting to be
They just all look unhappy. Like, I mean, we were talking about it like earlier.
They don't
in the
look like
episode.
they're playing for each other.
Okay, and like that's another thing about Jamal that kind of like has been driving me nuts is like he's playing such selfish basketball. Refuses to pass to MPJ. Refuses to pass to literally mostly anyone. Like he literally not only does he just jog the ball up.
It's not
but
fun
then he
basketball.
But then he just dribbles around for like 15 seconds and then chucks up a 3.
If it's one thing Jamal Murray is going to do, it's if he is being double teamed, he's going to dribble the ball the entire possession and then shoot up the most absurd shot. And then yes, when he makes it, you're like, that's why it's Jamal Murray. And then when he misses it, you're like, that's why you're a fucking idiot. Yeah, so there's nothing more painful than watching him literally dribble the air out the ball and then brick it because you've now wasted not only game clock, but also the entire possession. And
it's not like they're grabbing rebounds, so it's not like we're getting that ball back.
No, it's honestly so obvious why Michael doesn't get the ball because he's dribbling the entire possession. Michael comes out immediately and in the game hits 4 threes, 4 triples, back to back to back to back to back. One of them was a heave and he made it. Like just chucking him up, making everything. Malone pulls him out 6 minutes to go into the first quarter. And I'm like, that's a choice. That's a choice.
Game clock are you looking at, Coach?
Interesting. And then he puts him back in a lineup with, I need to remember the lineup because I literally tweeted. I said, well, I know that MPJ isn't getting the ball once with this high. Oh, yeah, it was Jamal, Julian Strawther, Peyton Watson, MPJ, and DeAndre Jordan. Between Julian Strawther and Jamal,
so for real.
and DeAndre's just there. Like, he's just a body. Like, God bless him. He's just there. So I don't think Michael touched the ball for 6 minutes in that stint because Jamal was either dribbling the air out the ball or Julian was dribbling the air out the ball, which Julian has been making a lot of his shots, so I don't care as much. And then multiple times, Michael's on the wing and Peyton's on the wing, and Jamal passes to Peyton, who hasn't made a three in
a decade.
Since Vietnam.
Literally since the Great Depression.
So I'm like, why does, like, and I don't know if it's a coaching thing, because if I'm Malone, I'm saying feed the hot hand.
Feed the hot hand, baby.
Give the ball to the guy that's, I don't know, hit 4 triples in the first 5 minutes of a game.
Yeah.
And I've just never been so irritated with Michael Malone in my entire life. And I do, you know, Jamal Murray has been so clutch in these games, but if he would just be, I don't know, play with any type of effort in the first 3 quarters, we wouldn't need him to turn it on so much.
The thing that I've been saying is that, like, I love and I'm grateful for the fact that Jamal shows up in big moments.
Yeah.
I need him to show up in small moments too. He needs to show up everywhere else in between.
He is like the biggest clutch merchant I've ever seen in my entire life.
I was saying the other day, I was like, the only shot Jamal makes is the last shot.
Yeah.
It's the only shot he's willing to make.
The only shot he wants to take.
Literally. And so it's just like, it's just been really frustrating to watch. And like, you know, like the coaching has been rough. No one looks happy. Everyone's really frustrated with the way that they've been playing, even when they're winning.
The only
For me,
effort
it's like, despite the win,
the
they're
only
so
effort
unhappy and
I
playing
see
like
is
shit.
from Russell Westbrook. He had a bad game last night, just turnover wise,
Yeah.
because almost all of the turnovers last night led to a kick out and some guy and just an immediate dunk. It was so painful. Like a lot of these games against terrible teams, which obviously yesterday was not against a terrible team, but a lot of these games have been like us down 15 at the half, and I'm never worried. Yesterday, I knew we were not winning that game.
Yeah.
That was like the first time in the past few games that I was like, no shot.
No.
Literally no shot. We'd make a three, and we have no defense, so they go to the other end, and then they make a three, or they miss it, and then get, you know, and get it back.
I'm having my Spencer eye twitch.
Yeah.
It really is so frustrating to watch. It's just like,
it's not fun. It's not fun at all. The ball is not popping. Jamal Murray will not allow the ball to pop.
and he just won't pass the ball. And that's what I'm like, you are literally a point guard. Pass the freaking ball. Like,
to the open, you're being double teamed or triple teamed, and he's like, now's my time to shine.
Now's my time to take this step back three over 2 6'10" players.
I'm going to take it to the rack. I'm like, oh, wait, let's use critical thinking skills here. There's 2 to 3 people, defenders on me. Somebody's open.
I have a nice bounce pass that I could make around this defender to MPJ.
No.
I have a nice overhead skip pass that I could make to this guy on the wing. I could literally do anything else. But instead, I'm going to step back over every defender's head and try to shoot a three.
With 3 seconds left
Being
on
the
shot
only
clock.
one who has touched the ball the entire possession.
3 seconds. Yes.
You know how unfun that is to watch the rest of your team stand in their spot around the perimeter and just sit like this waiting for the ball?
He's like trying to like get around him, but he can't because he's not fast.
Yeah, you're Jamal. This is me with everyone. This is me being everyone else.
3 seconds left. Break.
All right, I guess I'll go.
Unless there's 2 minutes left. Unless there's 2 minutes left in the game. Yeah, I have nothing to say about them anymore other than I want to trade, and I don't even know what they do to trade, and I wish we could blow the team up, but we can't because we have like 5 untradeable contracts with people that Malone will never play ever again because Malone, I think, now sucks. So,
period. Can we tell our funny story about the guy in front of us that's disgusting at the Christmas Day game? I want to tell a story just because I'm like, be so for real. So like I said, if you were watching in the beginning, we went to the Nuggets versus Suns Christmas Day game, and it was in Phoenix. We went as Nuggets fans. I'm like, it's Halloween. We went as Nuggets fans. We are Nuggets fans. We went to the game.
we dressed up as Nuggets fans.
We're just playing a little role.
Just playing a part.
But either way, so we went to the game, and we were obviously cheering for the Nuggets the whole time. We had a group of Nuggets fans in front of us, and then we had these two guys. We had a group of, or two more Nuggets fans next to us as well. And then we had this guy and his like teenage son that were sitting like front diagonal from us next to the 4 Nuggets fans that were directly in front of us, okay? This guy was such, like the dad, just such an ass. Like the entire game was like crashing out, talking shit to the Serbians and blah, blah, blah. Like I think like someone tried to, I think he was like messing around like with the Serbian flag and they were like, and literally the guys were like, this is my flag. Like you didn't see that part? Oh my God. He literally like they were holding up the Serbian flag, like trying to take a picture. And the guy starts like pulling it from him, like just to like talk shit and everything like that, like to be funny, like to take it. And literally one of the guys, it wasn't Jokic's brother, but one of the guys goes, don't fuck with this. Like, this is my flag. This is my country's flag. You're not gonna roll it up in a ball and no. And so he was just being an ass the whole game. He was crashing out, like talking shit the whole time. And then at some point, like, and mind you too, I just like, I don't care if like you're the opposing team's fans or whatever. Like, I'm never one to like argue with people. I like to talk to people. I like discourse about different teams. I like that stuff. That's literally why we do this here. If you're nice about it, like I love to talk about other sports or like other teams and everything like that. And DeAndre Jordan had one of his like behind the head dunks and everything like that in the game. And the guy had like made a comment about like, how would you feel letting DeAndre Jordan do that to you? And I was just like being silly. And I was like, man, I'd feel embarrassed, like just joking around. And he turns around and he's like, nothing ever embarrasses me or hurts my feelings. And I was like, okay. But he was just like crashing out, just like talking shit the whole time. Like Nuggets suck. And then at one point, me and Spencer looked down. And the girls, the cheerleaders for the Suns, were in these like super cute little like Santa outfits and everything like that. And he's literally zooming in on these girls, like dancing, like zooming in as close as possible.
We're only on row 5.
Yeah, literally. Like he was getting up in there, zooming in on them dancing, zooming in on like their ass, on their chest, and like their bare stomachs and like everything like that, taking videos of them with his wedding ring on and then showing his son. And like
his son literally looked like so uncomfortable.
His son is like 16 and these are like grown women. Okay. And his son literally was like sitting back a little bit further and he's like zooming in front of his son's face, like showing his son like all this stuff, like keeping these videos and pictures on his phone. Again, with his freaking wedding ring on and his 16-year-old son next to him. And so when he left, he stands up at the end of the game or whatever. And, there was like a minute left. And at that point, we knew the Nuggets were going to lose. And so he stands up at the end of the game and he starts walking out yelling, Nuggets suck. And I just like looked at like all the Nuggets fans around us or whatever and Spencer. And I was like, I'm sorry. I don't take shit talk from someone that's wearing a wedding ring, zooming in on strange women's body parts, showing his 16-year-old son. Like, so you're the last person I'm going to respect any shit talk from, my dear.
Like, could care less what you have to say, sir.
Yeah, like, sorry, you're invalid to me now because you're a shitty person and I've got nothing left. It was so gross. I'm like, what is wrong with you people? And someone had just posted something at a football game of like a guy doing the same thing.
Doing the same thing, yeah.
Yeah, have some respect. I know that these girls
have a sense of decorum.
Literally, and like, again, I know that these girls are like wearing the cute little 2 pieces or whatever. They're performing, okay? You don't need to be like watching them at home with your hand in your pants. And honestly,
like people are you're in public.
You're in public.
You're in public. People can see you. You're not invisible. You look dumb and disgusting. Anyway.
So gross. Anyway, I had to share that. Men are disgusting sometimes. If you're not those men, thanks for that.
Thanks for doing the bare minimum.
Thanks for doing the bare minimum and not being a fucking creep.
Anyway, that is our NBA update wrap up, whatever you want to call it. I feel like we've talked
about so much.
I know. I feel like we got to a lot of things. If you haven't already, like, comment, and subscribe. We love to talk to you here and everywhere else. So as usual, we will have all of the descriptions down below. Caitlin and I will get back to y'all. It's Saturday, so we might wait till Tuesday or Wednesday. Who knows? Yeah. I'm flying back tonight. And so we'll be back remote the next episode. But we missed you guys. We missed talking, and we kept saying we were going to film, and then we didn't because last time I was here, I was literally throwing up my guts and in the hospital.
Yes,
so
we've just been enjoying ourselves. We didn't get to spend like literally any time together last time she was here.
Yeah.
Like we didn't get to record. We didn't get to hang out. We didn't really get to do anything.
I was literally dying.
No, she was literally in the bathroom throwing up for like 90% of her trip. And when she wasn't there, she was in the hospital. So we didn't really get to enjoy our time. So we've been enjoying our time together. Obviously, we had Christmas. So we hope you guys had a wonderful Christmas. Follow us on all of our
New Year.
Yes, yay. Follow us.
We can't wait to see what happens in the new year. All-Star break is going to come up soon, and then it's going to get real serious.
Yeah, and if you guys want to like get us halfway famous so that we can go to the All-Star game for As You Sports and do content for it, that'd be so much fun.
It'd be so cool. Would love that so much.
Cutesy. But either way, follow us on all of our socials below. We have merch. It is so cute. We've had a couple people buy some new stuff lately. Lots of really cute little sayings. We have stuff for the guys, the gals, the gays, the theys, all of the above. Stuff for everyone. And we just love to talk to you guys. And if you haven't, like I said, or like Spencer said, like, comment, subscribe. Love us, hate us, whatever. And we'll talk to you soon.
Okay, love you, Missy. Bye.
Love you, Missy. Bye.